I was so driven by fear so much of the time, and I didn't realize it. And the fear was, what if I miss it? What if I don't get it right? What if I never really press play? What if I never really live my destiny? What if I never really live my purpose? What if I don't be who I'm here to be? What if I don't really impact the people that I'm here to impact? What if I'm not unapologetic enough? What if I'm not bold enough? What if I'm not certain enough? What if I'm not loud enough? What if I'm too loud? What if I'm doing too much, but what if I'm doing not enough? What if I'm holding myself to too high of a standard? What if I'm not holding myself to enough of a standard? What if I'm over hustling? What if I'm under hustling? What if I'm too all over the place and too random and I should be more polished and professional? Or what if I'm being too polished and professional, I should be more random? It will never end. Like, it took me a long time, and it's an ongoing daily surrender to the Lord, because we can't do this by ourselves. That's the point, right? But even to get that to that real point of revelation, like, whoa, which came from God, to realize you, if left to your own devices, me, but you'll have your own version of this, I don't know what it looks like for you, me, if left to my own devices, will literally miss it by default of the fact that you're obsessing over whether or not you're going to miss it. But in fact, here's what's cool. If you're in God and you're looking to God, he's adjusting you already. He is course correcting right now. So actually you can't miss it. You actually can't miss it. You would have to literally deliberately jump yourself out of the plane, off of the ship. And even then, God has you in the palm of his hand. He's not only course correcting as you're going, he already accounted for it beforehand. He already knew that it was coming. So how do we just be who we're meant to be today? I truly believe that there has to be intention around that, not necessarily a daily little routine or ritual, obviously, but daily pause points, of course, your time in the secret place, your quiet time, your prayer time, your time in meditation with God, your time in the Word, waiting on the still small voice of God, being still and waiting to know that he is God, allowing that stirring in your spirit that, bubbles over into your day. All of these things, they've got to be a way of life. They're just so important. But it's a heart posture. And you know what it is? It's an agreement that you make, which maybe you can make it now right now if you need to. I'm going to choose to believe that God is being who he says he is, and he's causing my right alignment and right assignment. And it can be messy, it can be stormy, it can be tumultuous, it can be whatever. It can at times be what seems like smooth sailing, or it's like, oh my gosh, taste and see that the Lord is good. This happened and this happened and this happened, and look at the new thing. But if we're going to do that, then we've got to also acknowledge that God is God when it looks like it's not the new thing, and it's a wilderness period that we feel like we're stuck in for ages and it's dry and we feel like we're all alone and we're missing something, or that we're actually, seeing or experiencing those stormy seas of life. So I guess what I'm trying to say is just don't try and figure any of it out. Not from a perspective of, if I could only see the change that I need to make in order to be who God made me to be, or in order to live the way he designed me to live, then I would what? Finish that sentence, right? Here's a journal prompt for you. That's useful. Finish that sentence. Then I would be what? Safe? Interesting. Where's your safety come from? Then I would be protected. Same thing. Then I would be successful. Are you talking from a provision standpoint? Because that's also interesting, right? So we got to kind of identify these things as God leads us to. And a lot of the time, what to do with that is simply hand it over. And go, wow, actually, no. That's not a match for what God says. Is it about who he is and who I am? Right, so Amy Elizabeth says, then I would be prosperous. Like, if only I could do such and such thing, then I would be prosperous. If only I was more whatever, then my business would be successful, or my finances would be whatever, or my ministry would be whatever, or my church would be whatever, or my kids, or my household, or my health. You got to realize it will never end. Like, for as long as you're alive in this earthly realm, it won't end unless you decide it ends now. And then every time you realize you're just meandering off down that little path again, you decide again that it ends now. And you don't do that by trying to take it upon yourself for your own like carrying of it. You can't heal yourself by yourself, with yourself, through yourself, for yourself. That's called New Age deception. That's not life in God. You just give it over to God.